the best way possible. Got a few things to talk about today, as always. You may have noticed I'm all smoothed up. The Wild Bill Hickok look has gone. I've had my hair cut and I'm raring for another week. I've got to thank Pete and Pat, my next door neighbours, for allowing us to hook onto their internet to get us through till the day when we get fibre here. And I'm looking forward to that now. I was a bit worried last week, scared of what was going to happen if we were going to have to miss out on our Monday together. But we've managed to overcome that. Now, if you're here watching the replay, click down below, let us know that you clocked in, and say hello to everybody. That's the thing to do. We'll be in the chat room shortly, and I'm just getting that ready now on my PC, so I'll have a look in there, see what's going on. It's nice to see Chris Pomfret is in there already. How you doing, Chris? Nick over there in America there as well. This is great start off to the day. I can get this up so I can see what's going on my screen to my right. Yeah, so we've had a bit of a week. I was a bit panicky for last week because I thought to myself, how am I going to get this all going? What am I going to do if I couldn't have any Wi-Fi and get everything going? So luckily we've got that sorted, so we're still up and running. And hopefully, no, I'm looking at my screen and I can still see that we're all pixely like they usually are. Happy haircut. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm glad you said that. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, I'm glad we can do it as well, Nick. It's nice to see that we're up and running and things are going. So we look like we can carry on doing things. I haven't had to miss out on any videos, as you saw last week. Still managed to get 3 out. I was a bit panicky for the one that went out on Tuesday. The second 2 went out. And I've got to say, videos about DVDs and things seem to be really doing well on the channel at the moment. It's been really nice to see. There's some good figures going. I'm sitting at the moment, me and Debs the other day, I think it was Friday, I had 5,500 subscribers. And I said to Debs, my next goal is to get 5555. And I'm pleased to say we're at 5554. So with a bit of luck in this next hour, we might get that other subscriber join us so we can get it going. Hello, Jonathan. How are you? Good to see you there. Dino, how you doing? Nice to see you there. Glad you enjoyed the video on the DVDs. And I've got to say, it's always good, you know. I've been chatting about this a lot, about the different DVDs and that. And that one that went out on Saturday, I showed you the 10 sort of DVDs that will stay with me. They weren't necessarily my 10 favourites, but they had a lot of meaning to it. So I kept them. And I did ask for people to mention that and talk about the 10 that they would keep with them. And somebody replied, and they ran through their 10 DVDs that they wanted to keep, and their last one, number 10 on their list, got me thinking, you know. It was a film that I had on VHS, and it got lost along the way, and I'd forgotten about it, and they were talking about Dudley Moore's film Arthur. Can you remember that? And he said it, and I was like, oh wow, Arthur, that was so good, I forgot all about that. So I zipped onto Amazon like you do, and I found it. So I've got Arthur here. It came today, Arthur and Arthur 2 on the rocks. So see, don't say I never take any notice of what you say in the chat room, because of somebody mentioning this, I had to have it. And it's really funny, you know, that last DVD update video I did, where I had 100 DVDs, and it only cost me the money that I paid for The Princess Bride. I think it was a £5 or £6, something like that. I can't even remember now. But this one, £12. It's the most I've spent on a DVD in absolutely ages. But it's 2 films, so I don't know, it's worth it, isn't it? So I've bought that, and tonight I'm going to be watching this. Once we've finished here, I'm going to get downstairs, have a bit of dinner, and then I'm going to be watching this. I absolutely loved this film. It's oh, it was such a gem, such a gem. And Arthur is one of them. It's one of them films that if you hear the song, the Christopher Cross song, it just brings a smile to your face. You haven't seen Arthur, Chris? Oh man, you need to watch it. You need to get a copy. 12 quid, 2 films, well worth it. Absolutely brilliant. Sir John Gielgud, I think somebody's just mentioned Sir John Gielgud. Yeah, Dino did. His role in that film is just brilliant. It is such a good film, and I absolutely loved it. And so, yeah, well worth it. I'm chuffed to have seen it the other day. I said to Deb yesterday, shall I get it? Shall I get it? Shall I get it? And she went, yeah, go on, get it for us. Go on, get it. So it came today, and we'll be watching it later on this evening. What else has been going on this week? Well, we've had new subscribers on the channel, which is brilliant. So thank you to everybody who's joined, and thank you to everyone who stayed. It's nice because I had a period not that long ago when as I'd get one subscriber, I'd lose another, and we never got anywhere. And do you remember, it wasn't that long ago that I said my goal was 50,000 by March the 9th next year? Well, I said it was 5,244, I think, when I said about doing it. And we lost loads straight away. So I went back a bit, and it's grown, and we're now at 5,554. So we are moving forward, and it's great to see. And what I really like about that numbers isn't so much the numbers, but the fact that the people who are joining the station, I say station, I think I'm on the radio again. The people who are joining the channel are leaving comments on videos, and it's so great to see. I love to see your comments. I love to read them, and I love to answer back where I can, and I'll always try and do that. The newsletter has had some new subscribers as well. That goes out on a Monday, and that went out this morning. So everything's all honky-dory. It's all going to plan as good as we can get it. Where I was so panicky about losing the chance to be able to talk to you in the next few weeks, I did kind of get in front with videos. So I filmed a video on Saturday that was to go out tomorrow. But you can answer me this yourself in a moment, right? I had this idea to make a video. And the premise of the video is this. I've set this goal for subscribers by the end of next year. But at the same time, I'm working to get my health back. You know that I've got this mask thing now, and I haven't been able to get out and about. And so I've got to be trying to get that fitness back in. So I'm going to try to get out more. And what I was thinking was I loved doing the videos when I used to go out and walk and talk. Now, the question is, should I do a series where we look at how health's moving on through the course of the year and how my numbers are going up in the channel? That was the question. So I made this video all about that, right? Hi, Mark. Hi, James. How are you? Good to see you all in the room. I made this video over the weekend talking about all these things, about how I needed to get my health back and how the things I was going to try and do and get out and about and actually get out and film outdoors again. I made this video, put it all together, sat in here, edited it, and it was total dross. I watched it and I thought, I'm not going to, this is the first time that in all the time I've been doing this, that I've had a video where I went, there ain't no way I'm posting that. That is terrible. It was so awful. I watched it in here and I edited it. And as I was editing it, I had this feeling that it wasn't very good. And then when I watched it back, it was worse than it felt when I was editing it. So it's the first time I've done it. I've made a video, a complete video that ain't going out. Haircut 100. That's me. Try chair exercises. I've done that, James. I was doing that back in January. Don't tell a lie, the end of last year. I was doing that. So I have been trying that. But hi, Tim. Good to see you in the room. Thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. We're going to be doing more. I'm going to try and get some more. I'll be talking about that in a bit. I've got some other things on my little list here that I want to talk about first. What do you reckon to the haircut then, eh? I'm looking rather suave. Do you think sophisticated? Look at that. Only thing is, I liked my hair long because you can't see my hearing aids. So I've got this little vein thing about me where I liked my hearing aids covered so that you didn't see them so much. But now, I look rather refined, don't you think? Anyway, let's move on to something else. So yeah, that video that I was gonna put out tomorrow isn't gonna happen, I'm afraid. You don't need widescreen anymore. I know. I like my hair when it's curly though. Do you know what? It wasn't until I went bald that my hair went curly. It waved a little bit, but it's now got curls. I really like that. But it does get to a stage where you think to yourself, oh God, needs cutting. Anyway, moving on. Last night I went to bed thinking, what am I going to do for a video for Tuesday? I haven't got a video for Tuesday now because the one that I'd planned to put out, I can't. And then this morning I was reading a comment from somebody who'd commented, and the comment that they did gave me an idea. And from that comment, I had an idea this morning, and about 8:30 this morning, I was filming a new video. That video has been edited, it is uploaded, and that one will go out tomorrow. So I've still got a Tuesday video out, that's just good. My favourite CD or book on the shelf to my left. Actually, I don't know how to say that. Alejandro. That sounds awful, doesn't it? How I've said that. I'll apologise for that straight away. The books are actually on my right because you're seeing it backwards, because it's one of the problems when you're doing this with a phone. Favourite books. I think we've talked about this before. I can't see it offhand, but let me have a look. Okay, I can't see it, but my favourite book in there is a book by somebody called I'll say it again, Robert Schuller, and it's a book called. No, it's not what you say when it's James. I'm cracking up. Whoo, start again. The book is called Tough Times Never Last, but Tough People Do. That's my favourite book that's on there. It's not one that I'm reading at the moment. I'm reading a book by somebody called Robert Galbraith, who just happens to be the woman J.K. Rowling in disguise. She did a series of books about a detective called Strike, and I'm reading the first one at the moment, and that's really good. I'm enjoying that. With regards to CDs on there, you may have seen that I changed all my setup in here the other day. When I didn't think I'd have an internet, I thought I'd have time to get on with it. So I moved all of my pile of music stuff from there over to there. And you know what? I've used it more since it's been in front of me there than I've used it in ages. So what I actually have played today, a favourite of mine, is James Taylor. I don't know if you can see that, Hourglass. I was playing that today. That still sounds absolutely brilliant. So that's put my favourite CD on the. That's going there. I've got a lot of James Taylor CDs that I love. And if you want to see more about that, a plug for one of my old videos, going back a little bit, there are a set of 3 videos with all of me talking about all of these CDs that are on my right. Let's see what else. £17 for a haircut in Cornwall? God. Did they chuck a pasty in? Because I'd eat the pasty, that's for sure. In England, did you have... No, I never went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It never, ever struck a chord with me. Although as a DJ, I think I played the music out of it lots of times at parties, but I've never wanted to see it. It's not my kind of thing. And so, no, I haven't been to see it at midnight, nor would I go and see it at any other time of the day. I'm much more this kind of guy, Arthur. And the musicals that I like all came from Hollywood way back years and years ago. And I talked about that in a recent video. So, no, sorry, James, I haven't been to see that. Kay, how are you? Nice to see you in the chat room. It's good to see the chat room is filling up. There's a friendly bunch of people in there. Always are, you know. There's always a friendly bunch of people. There are some lurkers watching, I do know, who aren't in there. But if you just want to put your head in and say hello to everyone, they're sure to talk back to you because they are a friendly bunch. If you're watching the repeat of this tomorrow or even later tonight, don't forget, leave me some comments. Let me know your thoughts. So what do you think? Should I do this collection of DVDs with me walking about, trying to get fit and doing all the things that I do, showing you all over my awful machine with a mask on and all that sort of stuff, and also do it as we go forward with goals for hitting levels and things that I wanted to do? I decided on the talking about it video not to do it. I could be convinced to do it if you guys wanted me to, but other than that, I probably won't. Let's be father figuring it out. I got that confused, Jonathan, when you said that the other week, you know. Alejandro, Mexico, haircuts are a $5 there. £5. That's more my prizes. I've got to fess up, right? This haircut was done by Debs in my kitchen the other morning. She keeps on at me to go over and have my haircut, but I'll tell you what, I've got to be honest with you. I go over, there is a barber's there, and it's pretty busy all the time. But I really begrudge with this little amount of hair having to pay for it. So I got Debs to do it, but she did warn me when she did it the other day. She went, "That's the last time. I'm not doing it anymore." A tour of my home, Jonathan. You've seen me in my kitchen. You've seen me in my living room. If you've been watching carefully over the times, I have done videos of it. But I tend to do most of them in here. I'd like to do more outside, but I've really got to get fit properly, because if I went out for a walk, I'm walking really slow. There's no point me saying any different. I'm walking really slow at the moment, and I'm unfit. I've got to be honest, because I've been ill since September. You don't realise how unfit you get if you don't actually do anything. The other day, when I had to go to the hospital, they didn't want you to park in there in a car, so they wanted you to get the park and ride. And the park and ride is good because you could drive to there, get on the bus, and then it will drop you outside the hospital. But they've moved where they're doing the road up outside the hospital. They've moved the bus stop, and by the time I got to it, I was shattered. So it's not very good for me at the moment. Does Debs cut nasal hair, neck hair, eyebrows, eye hair? Now, this is a bone of contention, Jonathan. I have to make sure that, as you can see, I've got fair hair here and dark here, but I've got grey hairs coming through, and they come out on an angle. They come out on a right angle, and I have to go and snip them, because if I don't, Debs will do the old pulling out job, and it makes me eyes water, and I don't like it. So I try to keep on top of that. Nose hair, very fortunate. I haven't really had any grow. Perhaps they went with my bald head. Yeah, Nick, everybody told me, people used to say to me about shaving all my hair off, but do you know what? I've got such an ugly head. I know the face ain't much better, but the rest of it's an odd shape. It's a real odd shape, and that's why I've kept what hair I do have. I've got to be honest with you. What else have we got here? Yeah, I watched a video yesterday from a channel that is somebody, I've never seen the channel before. I thought I'd go and have a look at it because it was talking about films, and I like films, as you well know. And so I went and had a look at it, and he does this thing every month, and it's great. And it's what I watched this month, or what I watched in January, or what I watched in February. And he gives you a running little commentary of the films and the television series that he does. And it was really good. It was really interesting. And I thought to myself, it's a good idea. I might do that. So what do you think? Should I? Do you think I should do a video once a month talking about the films that I love, the films that I want to watch and see? Because I think that'd be quite good. Well, thanks for telling us that, Jonathan. I've got an electric toothbrush too. So there you go. Steve Vowles, how you doing, Steve? Good to see you here. And OJ, how are you? It's nice to see you all clocking in. I take it, OJ, you've just put a video out, so you've finished now, and you're back here. So it'll give me something to watch tomorrow. You would watch it, Kay? Okay, well, we can do that. I can have a look at doing that. It's I did, funnily enough, I thought it was a good idea. So I watched one of my box sets yesterday, and I watched a film last night, and I did write them down. So I'll be writing this one down. So you expect me talking about this soon. We'll try it and see how it goes. I mean, that's all we could do, isn't it? It's just like have a go at different things and see how they go and see what takes. I did say to you at the beginning of this year that I'm going to try different things this year. I'm going to try and do things a little bit differently. Speaking of which, because I want to do more outside filming and bits and pieces, I was thinking about B-roll. And now, if you don't know what B-roll is, when you're making videos, the A-roll is this, what you're seeing now, which would be your face-to-face thing. And all of the cutaway shots that go on your videos, they become B-roll. And I've been doing this a couple of years now, and I'm surprised how much I had. So over the weekend, I spent 2 days going through all my different videos, right from the first one, which I have to tell you, watching it now, it's awful. I was so awful. I know I'm not better now, but then I was really, really bad. That I've been going back and looking at it and taking all the little bits of B-roll out, and I've made one big folder on my new hard drive now with every B-roll shot that I've got to do. So I'm thinking that I might try and start making a bit more, bit like I used to do at stages, where I used to go out and you'd have cutaways and all them bits and pieces in, and it was more of something to watch than me just chatting to you. Oh, Chris, bloopers, man, I get bloopers every single thing. You know, when I start to do a video, you can't do it live. You have to be, it is what it is. But when I start to do a video, you know, my first sentence, I could probably end up saying that 10 times because I'll mess it up at least 9 of them when I first start a video. I did the video that's coming out tomorrow. I recorded it in one hit today. I had some notes and I didn't read off scripts or anything, and I just went for it. And it was 17 minutes long. When I went back and started editing it down, it ended up at 9 minutes and 40 something seconds. So there was a lot of rubbish and a lot of bloopers that ended up having to be took out of it. So yeah, there is that kind of thing. How did it come about to make a YouTube content? Hi Dave, good to see you in the room. Oh, hope you're jobbing if you go to it tomorrow. I hope you get it. Let me know, what is it going to be? What are you going to do? How did I start to make YouTube content? All right. Most people here will know this, but I will tell you. because I like talking about it, because it was something that I wanted to do back when we had the lockdown in 2020. I started watching YouTube and watching the YouTubers and that. And I thought it was really good and they looked like they was having fun. But the only problem with it was back in 2020, there was nobody really my age doing it. It was all young people having out and having a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? And so I wanted to do it, but I didn't think I could because I was too old. And so I kind of procrastinated, talked myself out of it, talked myself into it, talked myself out of it for a period of time. And it got to the stage in March the 9th, 2023. So it's 3 years ago this week coming, a week today. I did my first video. The reason I did it was because I wanted to put together stories, life lessons and all that kind of stuff and share it with my two sons so that when I'm gone, they can look back on it and hear their old dad and listen to his stories and find out stuff. And I always wanted to give them a bit of optimism and enthusiasm for the things that happen in life. And so I kind of did this site, this website site. These are the kind of bloopers you make. No, I'd have edited that bit out and it'd have been all cool. I would have said channel. So yeah. So that's why I did it, and it's still the main reason I do it, and it's why we seem to be I seem to be doing more different things this year, more videos about DVDs than I usually do. But that's fine. But there will still be the other stuff. The video that's going out tomorrow will be talking about that particular subject, about putting things off. I'll be talking about that tomorrow in that video, which will come out at 6 o'clock UK time. When was the last time I dipped into the dictionary and the thesaurus on my right? About 3 days ago, Jonathan. I use the thesaurus much more than I do the dictionary. What I find is, especially when I look back on videos, I tend to say the same thing too often. I've fallen into the trap of using the same words. Things like I think Mark Schofield might have said to me, stop saying to be truthful or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I fall into the same thing. And so there's times when I'll look in the thesaurus to find something else, to see if I can find another word that will replace it, to try and improve the way in which I speak, if you know what I mean. I'm glad you're getting good reception for this. Yes, I did. My next door neighbour. In fact, I didn't even ask him. We were talking about it. We were talking about different stuff the other day, and I said to him, they're cutting my thing off tonight, my internet, because I suppose they got the hump with me. They took the money out and cut it off, and he said, "Well, look on mine. When's your thing coming?" So I told him it's coming here on the 17th. So he said, "Well, just took on me then." So he gave me the little thing with his password, and I put it in, and away we went. And so, yeah, I'm very lucky. I've got really, really good neighbours. And I've got good neighbours on both sides, actually. And so it was nice that we've still got internet and we can still do these videos, because I was worried, to be honest with you, whether I was going to be away for 3 weeks and have nothing to put out and chat to you with. And I was going to miss me Mondays. I do like me Monday meetups. It's a chance for us all to get together and just have a quick chat. Do you know what I mean? Right, what else? I want one channel that is about map reading. Called Waffle in his videos. Yeah, I could get that. You know, if you've watched this channel any amount of time, I could be talking about one thing and then I'll go off and we'll go on a different angle and talk about something else. It happens a lot. And it is good when that happens. I feel a bit like Ronnie Corbett. You know, when he sits in his seat to tell you a joke and it kind of wends away in a different angle. Oh, Jonathan, no. See what? A thesaurus is a wonderful thing to have. They're really good. I I use it a lot when I'm writing my blogs out as well, because I write as I speak. I don't try and write differently and try and be a bit more posher or all like that. I speak. I am who I am, and so I'll write my blogs and things, and they'll be like that. And so when I'm reading back, I'll read back and I'll go, oh, I've used that same word 3 times in them 2 sentences. So I'll go to there and I'll find another word. So a thesaurus is really, really useful. Really useful. I do, Dave, have a very helpful neighbour. I'll tell you how good he is, right? When I've had to go to hospital, and when I know our hospital is really expensive to park in, and I could go to the park and ride and leave the car there, but you've only got, I think it's 18 hours. So if I was kept in overnight, I'd end up paying a fortune. And if I need to go to the hospital, he's retired now, and he nips me to the hospital if I want anything like that. So he's really good. He's a very helpful fella, and he's just come back from South Africa. He went for a safari for his wife's birthday, and they just come back the other day, and he's been pinging me over photos from the safari and the balloon ride they had and all that. So yeah, it's really good to have a neighbour like that. And whereas the neighbour on the other side, he is a whiz at technical stuff. Do you remember? And it's not that long ago when I had to have new memory in my computer. He came around here and sorted it all out and put it all in for me. Took the old memory out, showed me what I needed to order and all that sort of thing. So I'm very lucky. I've got really good neighbours here. Right, let's see what else. What else is in here? Yeah, I'm hoping to get the new fibre broadband on the 17th of March, which is, let me just go and see. 17th of March is a Tuesday. So I'm hoping that by the 23rd, I should have proper good quality pictures for you all. We'll be up and running, and then that'll give me a little bit of time to learn how to use OBS properly, and then hopefully you'll see everything the right way around. We'll have a more quality production, if I can call it that. 17th is St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I hope they've not got. I hope they haven't got their Guinness head on when they come to put it in. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having fibre. I mean, I uploaded the video that's going out tomorrow. It was not 9 minutes long, and it took just over 2.5 hours to make that video today. So I'm really looking forward to the stage when I can upload a video in 10 minutes. There's a channel that I used to watch. I don't watch it anymore because it's a politics channel, to be honest with you. And although I don't talk about it, I refuse to talk about politics because I think it's a personal thing. But I used to watch this channel, and he'd update it through the course of the day, be it having fibre. And he could put out 6 videos if there was 6 things going on in the political world. And I used to think to myself, I could never do that. So I'm hoping that by then we should be able to get moving on with fibre and actually do something a bit better. Which company is providing it? It's a company called Fourth Utility we've gone with. There was a lot of people wanting different things, but I want my new fibre box to be put in this office, which is round the back of my house and upstairs, and most of them will only go to your front door. But Fourth Utility have said that they'll come and fit it here, and they're not charging me any extra to do it, so I went with them for that reason alone. Hi Jamie, how are you? How's things out there in Blackpool? Have you had a bit of a sunny day today? Is it warming up there yet? One here on the live. Hope things are going well with you, Jamie. it's nice to, you know, I like Jamie's channel because you see the sea front, and I do love a coast. I love the coast. I moved here from Weymouth, and this is the longest in my life I've ever lived away from the coast. So it's 16 years. It's the rest of my life I've always been near a coast, whether it be Somerset Coast, where we lived for 12 years, the Dorset Coast, where I lived for 20 years, and various other coasts around the country that I've lived there, been to. The weather's rotten there, is it? It's been lovely here today, Jamie. Them coin pushing machines that you get at the seaside, Dave, we used to have them in our arcade. Love a pusher. Who rules the UK? For me, Alejandro, it's the Beatles. I'm sorry. You're either one or the other. I'm a Beatles boy. I have all of their albums up here. All the Beatles albums. Been a big fan since I was little. No, I don't mind the Stones. Don't get me wrong. I've got a couple of their albums, but it's the Beatles for me all day long. Always has been, always will be. I don't do garden work, Jonathan. I have got, my garden was overgrowing. It was really, really bad. And I have got video of me out there cutting the bushes down. And my future son-in-law is cracking. Round the side of my house, there were bushes that come over with prickles in them. They'd been there all the time. And I asked him to come and do them. And I'd been out there cutting back with secateurs, taking forever. He come there, ripped them all out, ripped all the plants out, did all around my garden, ripped all the trees out that would all go in the wrong way. And he completed it in about 2 days, not 2 full days, 2 afternoons, basically. He come here and did everything. He seeded all that side of my house, which is all grown back lovely, and he's going to come and do the rest of the work. I'm not a gardener. I'm a rubbish gardener. If I actually owned this house instead of renting it, that would all be cement out there with a few pot plants or something out there. I don't do gardening. I'm not very good at it. I think they're lovely. I like looking at flowers and that, but it's not my thing. I can't do it. Steve, I'm glad you said the Beatles by a mile as well. The Beatles for me hold so many memories. We had all of their albums when I was little. I bought my first Beatles album for my 6th birthday money. I had money on my birthday, which is 29th of July, and the Revolver album came out on the 5th of August in 1966, and I used my birthday money to go and buy the Revolver album. That was my first album. My first single, which was bought for me when I was 3 years old, was the Beatles' I Want to Hold Your Hand. So the Beatles have always been that for me. And I've got all of their albums. I just love their stuff. I think the writing is spectacular. When you look back at it, and if you watch any of the documentaries that have come over the years, they were so in front of their time. For a lot of things, they were so in front, and people have followed behind them all the time. Freeze and gardening solution. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Jonathan. The Beatles, Cliff and Elvis. I'll tell you what, that is some channel. The other day, I haven't played any of my Elvis stuff for absolutely ages. And then the other day, I got it in my head to play this. I know you're seeing it backwards, but it's the 40 greatest hits. And it's just brilliant. It's the first time I've played it in years. And the other day I played all 40 and I loved every one of them. And it was really, really good to hear them again. And as for Cliff, well, Cliff, I think, is underrated. I think there's so much stuff that Cliff Richard's done that has been brilliant over the years. I think you should call it a day now. but the three of them, that would have been a brilliant radio program, Dave. Wouldn't have minded listening to that one myself. Do I remember Dollar's cover? What of? Which, if I've said that Dollar's cover, I take it you're thinking about I Want to Hold Your Hand. And if they did it, it must have been awful. They weren't very good at their best, were they? Yeah, Cliff is the artist who had #1 in 5 decades. It's a shame that the last decade that he had them in, they were both Christmas songs. All right. Dave, your mum has that album, does she? I love Elvis. When I was a kid, I had loads of singles. By the time I was 11, I think I had 1,000 singles. And what happened, and I was really lucky as a kid, because my family come from fairgrounds, my dad's mates all had rides at the time, and they knew that I loved records as a little boy. And when they bought new records for the rides, they'd always give me their old ones. So I had piles and piles of old singles, and I had loads of Elvis Presley singles when I was little, and I loved them. They're just awesome. And most of them you could turn them over, especially the early 60s ones. And the B-sides were as good as the A-sides. Some fantastic stuff I had. We're doing music tonight, are we? Is this what our chat's about tonight? Normally it's films, but today we're talking about music. Yeah, so yeah, I've always liked the Beatles, liked Elvis. Cliff Richard, always liked it. We've got, as if you're talking about Cliff Richard films, Jonathan, we've got Summer Holiday, we've got Espresso Bongo, The Young Ones. I think I might have one other. Can't think now. Take Me High. I think we've got them. And as for Elvis films, well, GI Blues is my one. GI Blues reminds me of watching Christmas films in the mornings, because you always have a few Elvis films on Christmas morning, not on Christmas Day itself, but over the Christmas holiday. BBC used to show them about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. I used to look forward to that. I loved the Beatles' later stuff. The White Album is superb, even if the Beatles' White Album basically sounds like each one of them doing solo stuff. It's a mishmash, but it's brilliant. That is. And Abbey Road, well, Abbey Road's just spectacular, isn't it? Kay, do you know what? The Dave Clark 5 were better liked in America than they are here. I lost my track there because I just saw Jamie. Say hello to Finley, give him a wave. Is he watching? Hello, Finley. See, I'm doing well. I do hope I've just remembered his name. Dave Clark, yeah, bits and pieces and all that sort of stuff. The single Because, which was their best one in America, wasn't even a single in this country. It came out on a B-side. And do you know that Dave Clark was a policeman who got to the scene when Eddie Cochran was killed in the car crash? Dave Clark was a constable at the time, and he was there. Eleanor Rigby is your personal favourite, is it, Jonathan? Mine is Penny Lane. I've got to be honest, I like the nostalgia from it and how they're looking back over it. But I love most of their stuff. The stuff that I really like, they did on the With the Beatles album, they did an old standard, Till There Was You, and it is just brilliant. And on the B-side of I Want to Hold Your Hand, they did a song called This Boy. And that's brilliant as well. The Beatles stuff, if you look in different places, there's so many great records. Northern Soul's been your go-to, is it? Well, you would do, Jamie. So I bet you don't like the Snake then. I used to go to the Northern Soul Club here in Cambridge, and they hated skiing in the snow, and they hated the Snake, And yet, they like "Do I Love You," which I can't stand. There's the biggest Northern Soul one of the lot, "Do I Love You" by Frank Wilson. I can't stand it. I never have liked it. So, I like some Northern Soul. I've got to be honest. I did a Northern Soul night in a hotel for a soul. It was part of a soul event. One room was all disco and all dance stuff, and the other stuff was Northern Soul. And I played in the Northern Soul room, and I had a row with a Northern Soulie because I used my computer because I didn't. I've When I was DJing, I stopped using records years ago. Got sick and tired of carrying all the records in and out in the rain, so I put it all over on computer. And I had a Northern Soulie have a go at me because I didn't know how to DJ because I was using a computer. No, not the fact that I've been doing that since I was 17. Long time. Right, what's going on in here? Let me have a look. If I Fell's great record. As is, I saw her standing there. Yep, Penny Lane was a double A side with Strawberry Fields Forever. That's correct, absolutely. You love all the films in the Hard Day's Night, do you? Where are we? This one. Let me tell you a story. I might as well while we're here. See these Beatles records, right? We had them in our family. My dad had collected them, my brother had them, I started buying them. But we used to play the Beatles records in our arcade. When we had the arcade at Burnham-on-Sea, Steve Vels will remember it. It was a big yellow one. It was about 150, 200 foot long. And it went over the beach, and it was built on scaffolding. And as kids, we used to play underneath the arcade and try and catch the pennies that fell through the floor. But my dad used to play the Beatles in the arcade all the time, and he used to play a lot of Beatles stuff and the hits of the time. But what happened was all the teens would come into the arcade and lean against the machines just listening to the music. And so my dad had a reel-to-reel tape recorder, and he'd play tapes on there, and it would have, if it got too much like it, he'd put a tape which he'd recorded Scheherazade on one side, which was classical, and if you turned it over on the other side, it was the King and I soundtrack, and Max Bygraves and Ted Heath singing songs from the 1920s. And when the arcade used to get too full of teenagers who weren't spending any money, my dad would put that on, wait for them all to go back out because they wouldn't want to listen to that, and then people who wanted to come in the arcade and spend money in the arcade could. And then he'd put the Beatles back on, and then and it'd be the same circuit. He'd do this constant thing all day long, every day. But Beatles were Beatles stuff. It takes me back to Burnham-on-Sea. Everything does. I can remember my brother buying Sergeant Pepper. I can remember being in the arcade when Help was out. If there's one LP that reminds me of Burnham-on-Sea, it's the Help LP, because we played it all one summer there. It was just great. So I've got lots of stories about that. Remember the Beatles animated stuff? Yes, I do. I remember that when I was little. They never have brought it back out. It wasn't voiced by the Beatles, was it? It was, all of the cartoons were a bit odd. Max Bygraves, I want to tell you a story. I tell you what, I love Max Bygraves. Carrying on my chat about music like that, Dave. When Max Bygraves came out, he did a series of LPs in the mid-70s called Sing Along a Max. And we'd moved from the arcade on the seafront then to an arcade on an holiday camp, and we had a bingo and all that sort of stuff. And so my job would be in from 2 o'clock till 5 and from 7 till 11 every day was to call bingo numbers. And we used to play Max Bygraves' Sing Along a Max albums in between the games. And when we first got started, we'd play them all the time, because the people that were coming in were mainly older women in their late 60s, early 70s. And they, at that time, they'd have grew up. Their teenage songs would have been those songs that Max Bygraves was singing. They would just play it, go back to their youth. And so we played them a lot, and I really kind of hated them at the time, but I've got so nostalgic about them. And like I said, my dad had this Max Bygraves reel-to-reel tape. I bought the album. I had a hunt round and found it, and I absolutely love them. So Max Bygraves is right up there for me. CK, we haven't missed you. Alvin Stardust days. Alvin Stardust. That name rings a bell. What, this Alvin Stardust? Yeah, I've got one of his albums too. Takes me back to my youth. I was young then. Yes, Steve. Day in the Life. It finishes Sergeant Pepper. Brilliant. Oh yeah, do that, Jamie. Like to see that. Liberace. My mum and dad used to watch that. I never really got into Liberace. Don't know why. Bit glittery for me. I was more of a Russ Conway man myself. Or Fats Domino. The rock and roll style. Did bingo callers have groupies? Oh, you bet your life we did. When I was 15 and 16, man, on that holiday camp, yes, I had groupies, and they were lovely. Lots of lovely young ladies for me, and I enjoyed quite a few of them. In an innocent kind of way. I'm saying no more. I'm going to move on from that. Alvin was born above a chippy in Mansfield Woodhouse. I did meet him once. I went to a business meeting, and they had music in the break, and it was Alvin Stardust, and he came on in his all leather, and instead of a glove, he had one of them big hands, you know, like he ever used to do, and he took the mickey out of himself, something wicked, and he was a really nice guy. I had a chat to him, and he was brilliant. So I liked Alvin Stardust. Final chord in the Day in the Life. Yeah, it plays out for ages, and it just it gradually fades, doesn't it? So, I can't think of much else, to be honest with you. For those of you that are watching on the repeat, anything that I've talked about in this live stream, please comment below. Let me know what you think, especially if you like the idea of me doing basically a road to health series of videos as I try to get back to being normal, because I think doing something like that may actually help me push myself a little bit more. But if you don't want it, say that as well, because I don't want to do something and waste my time doing something that you don't want to see. Fair enough. Tammy, hello. Got detained from getting here on time. I know, it's a funny time of day for you in America, isn't it? What time is it where you are now? If it's nearly 7 o'clock, what is it, 2 o'clock where you are? 2 or 3? Maybe 1? I don't know. But thanks for getting in here anyway. It's nice to see you, Tammy. Now, for those of you that are watching, or lurking, as I like to call it, lurking on the outside, not wanting to dive into the chat room, what you could do, you could make a comment on the replay if you like. If you don't feel you're ready to dive into the chat room yet, it's not a problem, you know. I don't mind it. I'm pleased that you're here. I'm pleased that you're here. But if you want to watch that, come in and enjoy them, you're more than welcome. You're carrying a bit too much timber. I tell you what, Dave, I know how you feel. I've been the same way. When the lockdown was on, I lost 4 stone. And that's 56 pounds to Americans. I lost 4 stone just by walking around our village, because we were allowed to go out walking, and we did that. Around our village is a circle, and it's just over 3 miles. We used to walk every day. And during the lockdown, I went with Slimming World as well, and I went back down to 12.5 stone. But Deb said 12 stone is too light for me. She said I looked ill at the end of it. So I could do with losing, you know, just a little bit. If I could get down to about 13 stone, I'd be happy with that. How many people watching, Chris? There's about 15 at the minute. It's 17 now. It goes up and down. I look at some, you know. I watched a live stream for someone called Rob the Maritimer, and he'll have like 200 people, which is crazy. But the only thing is, at this sort of amount of people, it's great. I love having it here because I can see. Hello, Treasonous. I'm sorry. I haven't said hello. I've just spotted you there. Good to see you. Yeah, at least I may not have the biggest numbers who watch the live stream, but what we do have is a chat room that I can keep up with, and I get to see most of the comments. I might be about a couple of minutes behind you sometimes, and I may have to stop and go and read and just check to make sure I haven't missed anything. But at this amount of numbers, it's really good. Don't get me wrong, I'd like more because obviously the more numbers I get, I'm monetized. I'll get more money. It's always handy. I'm always handy because I've reached the level for monetization this month, and it's funny, you know. I seem to always get the right amount of money for the new toys that I want to buy. So I want to buy some lights, some studio lights, because as you can see with the lights that I've got on here, I'm just going from over the top. My head's all shiny and I don't like that, so I'm going to buy some studio lights. Also that means I can then pick them up and move them around the house, and so I can film in other places, so I'm not always in here. Because as much as I love this room, you know, it sometimes feels like a prison because I spent most of my time in it. And so yeah, when I get the bonus where I've hit the monetization level, I've earned enough this month to pay for 2 new lights. So when that money comes through, I'll be buying 2 new lights, and you'll see it'll be all lit up differently in here then. Well done, Jamie. I've made a little bit more than that, not much, but a tiny bit. That's pretty good. 71 quid. Well done. See, we don't earn tons of money, you know. This is when people think that you're monetized on here, they think you earn a lot of money. For last year, I think I was like, you have to get 60 quid before they'll pay you out. Once 60 quid's mounted up, then they'll send it to you. Last month, it took me 5 months to earn £60. Now, when you think, last year, I mean, it took me 5 months. When you think the amount of work that creators do, I'm doing at this moment a live stream and 3 videos per week. So that's 4 lots of things. And you got, of course, factor in the fact that you're spending time thinking and working out what you're going to do, trying to think of something to say on what you're going to do. Then you've got to edit it. There is a lot to it. And for small people like myself, it's not a ton of money. I mean, I think it's, at the moment, I'm about 75 quid. Tomorrow will be the last. I'll see the last date tomorrow because it's you generally pay it. They show it on your thing 2 days behind. So I'm not earning silly amounts of money like everyone seems to think you do on here, and every little bit of money counts. So yeah, if I got more people watching this live stream, it's great. I'll be really happy. The last few videos have done me no end of good because I've had the last few have done well, and so it makes it better. It makes it better because you spend a fortune. I gotta be honest, we spend absolutely loads. It pays for the food reviews with Finley. Definitely a win-win. If it doesn't cost you any money, Jamie, you're definitely spot on. Anyway, our time is almost up. I just want to say thank you very much, everybody. It's been great once again, and it's gone so quickly. For those that didn't see it earlier on, I'm going to be tonight. Arthur. I know it looks backwards, but it's not really. I got today. I actually bought this new. It's the first new DVD I've bought for ages. 12 quid. And it's all because one of you viewers made a comment after my last DVD and mentioned this film and reminded me that I didn't have it. So I went and bought it. And I'm looking forward to this tonight. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you all so much for being here as always. There is a video coming out tomorrow. Now just got to work out what I'm going to do on Thursday and Saturday. Well, time will tell. I will see you all very soon. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for all of you dropping in. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for the likes and whatever, you know the kind of thing I'm talking about. I will see you very soon. Ta-da now.